Lets you see what you've been missing. Betamax from Sony, the one and only. And by Buick. From Riviera and the lean new full-size Buicks to the amazing front-wheel drive Skylark, you'll find very fine cars and very good thinking.
Hi, I'm Shep Messing, and I'm at the Houston Summit right now with my teammates getting ready for tonight's game. Houston's our toughest competition in the league, but tonight we're out to show them why we're the champions and why they're the challengers. We're about ready to go out right now, so I want to throw the ball to Kyle Rote and Terry Leiweke. But Kyle, this is for all those goals you scored against me during your career.
Thanks a lot, Shep Messing. You've now proven to the world why I never followed my father's footsteps and went into football, but why I'm in soccer. Hello, everybody. I'm Kyle Rote Jr. here at the Summit in Houston, where tonight Summit Soccer hosts the New York Arrows. I'll be doing your color for you, and Terry Leiweke will be doing the play-by-play. And we're going to be right back to get the start of the first quarter right after this message as we go to the national anthem.
This is the 4.1-liter Buick Electra, America's first and only traditional luxury car with a V6 engine, standard. It's very responsive, yet few cars go further on a tank of gas. Still, some might question the wisdom of putting a V6 engine in a full-size luxury car. Well, when you consider that for every one of these, you part with one of these and then some, the logic is crystal clear.
The 4.1-liter Electra. Buy or lease one at your Buick dealer.
This bud's for every man who works with fire and steel.
This bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this bud's for you.
In New York, every neighborhood, every community, every town has a chemistry all its own. And the chemical bank branches there are part of that chemistry. Chemical branch managers make sure of that. In Jamaica, that means opening earlier so Long Island Railroad conductors don't miss the boat. East side, west side, all around the town. On Long Island or Westchester, chemistry's just right at Chemical.
And this is where we keep the Sony.
This is my wife, these are my kids, this is my Sony.
The difference between you and me, Perkins, is that you own a television and I own a Sony.
There's one television people are proud enough of to brag about. The only television with the patented one-gun, one-lens system that won an Emmy. There's only one Trinitron, and it's from Sony, the one and only.
I think Henry's getting serious. Last night he gave me a Sony.
For upcoming Summit Soccer.
It's a birthday party in the Summit in Houston, Texas, where the Major Indoor Soccer League, Houston Summit Sockers, play host to the New York Arrows, defending champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Hello again, everyone. I'm Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. You see the balloons in the stands. It's a birthday party. The party celebration of this Houston Summit Soccer team. And Kyle, these guys are tough at home.
Well, you know, you would think that even as young as the league is, I don't think it's too premature to say that this is almost your classic matchup. You have Shep Messing, the colorful and emotional goalkeeper who sports a patch across his eye from an injury received in the Hartford game last week. And there's Mick Poole, the goalkeeper for Summit Soccer, who Summit Soccer coach Ken Cooper says is...
Snap for me, get the air bubble out.
High-scoring teams. I talked with Kenny Cooper before the game. He said his team is going to press all over the field, so it'll be similar to a full-court press in basketball. And we've seen this New York team so many times. They score lots of goals, so we should be in for, as I said, what I hope is not a premature label, the classic matchup in the MISL.
We'd like to welcome all of our fans in New York on WPIX New York Arrows. They're our home team, and they're moving right to left. Arrows defending champions of this Major Indoor Soccer League. Steve Jungle, number 7, immediately tees off, takes a shot. Stremlau comes down to back off. You see Houston come out of their own zone. Danny Geerling for Houston lays it up to the midfield. We're playing 6 men aside, 5 men and the goalkeeper. Houston and New York, always classic matches, these two teams. They played in Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum earlier this year. Score was 7-2 going into the fourth quarter. New York on top, and then boom, out comes Houston. They had an 8-7 score with a minute remaining in the game. New York finally won it 10-7.
And the game down here, Terry, was a 6-5 overtime victory for Houston, with Jerry Morielli, who we'll see a little bit later on for Houston, as we see Bronco Segota being sent to the penalty bench apparently for violent dissent. And Segota, who ranks second in this Major Indoor Soccer League in penalties, I think now with those 2 minutes, throws him into a tie for first with Bobby Smith of the Philadelphia team.
A lot of action takes place away from the ball. Now watch this. There's Gearling. He had planted himself. You see Segota, 18. You know, one thing about Bronco Segota, as you look at him, he has 32 goals. He's really come into his own this year. He's taken more penalties this season. As a result, the Arrows have played shorthanded a considerable amount of time, and Houston's tough on a power play. Rocket shot by number 10, Dale Russell of New York, but Messing takes the rebound. Distributes out to the star forward, number 7, Steve Jungle. Arrows playing shorthanded on the power play. Houston, it was a 2-minute penalty to number 20, Bronco Segota. The call, dissent. Dissent meaning he had a few words with the referee.
Right, he did. Of course, on the replay, we saw the foul of blocking or of holding, which the referee had Bellion called. And it really, his penalty, his 2 minutes was not for that foul, but it was for dissension of the call right afterwards. Houston having the second best record as far as man advantage situations in the Central Division, and New York having the best record at killing penalties in the whole MISL.
On the power play, it's Houston. Houston has Ian Anderson, Dale Russell, and Kai Oskavy. Jimmy Polahan, John Stremlau for Houston. There's Oskavy laying it off the boards. Watch Kai Oskavy and Steve Jungle tonight. Those two gentlemen leading this league in scoring, both of magic with the ball. That's Oskavy, lays it off his teammate, assistant captain Ian Anderson. He's actually the assistant coach. He was the captain last year. That's Dale Russell on the left. The four-man box by New York. Right into John Stremlau with the left foot. Stremlau put it right into Messing's hands. Anticipation by New York, doing a nice job of killing the penalty. 40 seconds remaining. This is Jungle on a breakaway. Jungle shot! Saved by Mickey Poole. You saw Jungle in one of his favorite plays, a breakaway.
And we should mention that New York back in December did something that no other team in the history of the MISL has done. They scored 3 goals in one game in man-down situations, and they're putting pressure on the Houston Summit team right now, even with the man in the penalty box. In fact, they scored 2 goals on the same penalty.
Houston still on a power play for another 10 seconds. Oskavy, Dale Russell. He's the quarterback. Russell, left-footed kicker, puts it to Ian Anderson. Anderson, Kai Oskavy. Oskavy, nice pass to Ian Anderson, takes the shot, it's wide. Neither team has gotten on track. As you look at Renato Chilla, the defender for New York, number 4, covers up the ball and gives it to Messing. Two teams still feeling each other out, so the power play not well executed this early in the game, Kyle.
No, and we have to give credit to the New York team for killing. They've done a good job all year, and with Segota back on the field, they're back at equal strength.
That's Bronco Segota. He's out of the box. Penalty has elapsed. Both teams back at full strength. Look at Segota, number 20, Segota. Holding up Ian Anderson. No call. Play moves on. Milligan for Houston. Moves across his own red line. Pushing will be the call. Dave DeRico, number 2, defenseman for the New York Arrows. Arrows, Shep Messing in goal. Changing the troops, Popovich sends out some fresh legs in the form of Tibor Molnar, number 6, and 21, Val Tuksha. Ian Anderson inside. Jimmy Polahan played for New York last year. Tibor Molnar clears it out. This is Segota. Danny Gearling for Houston steps in and takes it away, but Segota back one-on-one with Ian Anderson. That's quite a matchup. Ian Anderson, the smart Scottish player. Assistant coach, was captain of the team last year. As you look at Anderson, he's going to hit the bench. Ian Anderson.
He's changing his role a little bit this year. As you mentioned, Terry, he's assistant coach, but he's also moving more of a defensive position. Last year, I think he was the 6th leading scorer in the league. And we're now having Ed Bellion. Looks like he's calling.
He called a 2-minute penalty on Ian Anderson. Let's see if we can pick up the referee's call.
I imagine it's going to be for dissent as well.
Throwing the ball away on getting misconduct.
Misconduct was the call, Kyle, and what he did, Ian Anderson, as you look, he's got a lot of goals, and Houston's going to go down one man, New York up on the power play, and he threw the ball away, which is not uncommon in a game, but Ed Bellion knows these two teams, it could get out of hand early if he doesn't take control of the game.
No, and you'd have to give him credit that there have been complaints on occasion this year that referees have let the game get a little bit out of hand, and it happens in the outdoor game as well. Referee just getting a tight grip on the game, as they say, as players say, and letting everyone know pretty quickly that he's not going to put up with much.
Nobody ever says anything. As you look at Oscar make the shot, New York on the power play. It's Ian Anderson in the box for 2 minutes. Penalty to Houston. Never hear anybody say anything about the referees when they do a great job. It's only when they blow a call. Julie V inside, number 10. I think the refs do a great job in this game. Arjani, Julie V, great save by Mickey Poole. Did you see Julie V? Julie V, number 10, has been one of the reasons the Arrows have taken dominance control in the Indoor Soccer League early this year, and that is V's come up scoring a lot of goals for this New York club. He's really added depth. They always had Segota and Jungle. V, a new addition. Segota, look at that leg on Broncos Segota. Tuccia.
And V scored 4 goals the last time these two teams met in New York.
This is Arshani inside. You saw the play. Jimmy Palahan, number 12 for Houston. He's marking the man right out front. You see the kickoff as Stewart jump. Arshani with a nice bit of footwork settles the ball, gives it back. It's by Segota. And unlike hockey, Kyle, you see the red lines, and when a ball passes by the red lines, it doesn't go out of the zone. Hard shot, Poole, 2 great saves. Ball is loose. Juggle out front, nobody home. Arshani steps in, picks up the loose ball. It's this kind of disorganization that usually erupts in a goal on the power play. Stewart jump for Houston, lays it way downfield, almost over the plexiglass. 20 seconds remaining in the penalty.
And I'll tell you, Stewart Jump was shooting for the goal because he saw Shep Messing come out almost as the last man sweeper, and had the ball been on goal, it could very well have gone in. New York scoring about 45% of the chances when they have a man advantage. With 5 seconds left, it doesn't look like they're going to score this time.
Ian Anderson's coming out of the box. Penalty has elapsed. Both teams back at full strength. You see Anderson coming out of the box. Ian Anderson, number 2. That's Julie V, number 10. No score, 9:25 remaining first quarter. We're in the Summit in Houston, Texas. Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. You're watching the New York Arrows, the defending champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Houston lost no regular season games in this building last year. They only lost 1 game. That was in the playoffs, and they got eliminated. There's V. Nice play by Julie V as he got position. But by getting position, Julie V pushed, and a violation is called on the pushing.
This was what should have been, or what everyone expected to be, the great matchup in the finals last year. Here we'll see a replay with the shot inside. V holding off his defender. Apparently, referee Ed Bellion felt that V was not playing the ball. He was playing the defender, trying to keep his position there in the goal mouth.
What are you trying to do there, Kyle? You're trying to get the guy behind you so you can receive the ball?
Honestly, you're trying to hold the player off with your hand where the referee can't see it, is what most players try to do.
This is New York. Neil Cohen of Houston defending. Pushing. It'll be a free kick for Houston.
And with V in the box in that situation, it puts Houston in a very precarious situation because they can't really foul him, because, of course, if they do, it'll be a penalty kick situation.
No score, 8:30 remaining, first quarter. Welcome all of our New York viewers on WPIX. Every Friday night, tune in here on 11 Alive. You'll see the New York Arrows. 10 games. We played 3. This is our 4th game on WPIX. You see this New York Arrows. That's Jungle. Jungle down low. Fakes the shot. Tried to pull it back around the defenseman. Watch Jungle. Nice pass inside to Tibor Molnar. Intercepted by Neo Cohen. These two teams, you can see them loosening up a little bit now. Each team has had a penalty and been shorthanded. They seem to be breaking a little bit of a sweat now, Kyle, and they're getting into the game a little bit more. This game, these two teams really get after each other.
Well, they do. And New York having lost their, Houston having lost their last game in Wichita just 2 nights ago, 6-5. in overtime, which I believe is the first game Houston has lost in overtime this year. They felt very disappointed. It was one of the worst games that they've played all year, and back home this would be no better time than to get back the confidence that they've seemed to have displayed in this house, as you said, in years past, not having lost a game except in the playoffs last year.
So Houston tough at home, but New York's been playing very well on the road also. Matter of fact, New York's been playing tough all over. They're undefeated at home at the Nassau Coliseum. Tibor Molnar lays it off, looking for Gene Strenitzer. Strenitzer up over his head, over the top of the plexiglass. That's Tibor Molnar, number 6. And what's very interesting, Kyle, is a lot of the New York players and their depth on the bench. Coach Popovich showing right away that he's going to keep a lot of the players out on the field like the Tibor Molnars, and like Molnar right there, to get some legs and run into these guys and pressure them. Shot by Jungle right on. Mickey Poole is saved. This is Neil Cohen on a break. Cohen lays it off on the left wing. Nice play by Renato Chilla. Chilla again inside. This is Dale Russell. Nice give and go. Russell leaves it there. There's a return pass by Anderson. Chilla in the corner. Renato Chilla, number 4 of New York. This is Dale Russell of Houston. This is Kai Oskavy. Oskavy did not play in that overtime loss. Strenitzer takes it away from Oskavy. This is Steve Jungle. Jungle and Oskavy are battling once again for the scoring lead in this, the Major Indoor Soccer League, with Philadelphia's Fred Grigorov. Right now, Oskavy leads the league in scoring. That should be altered one way or the other. He'll either be leading by more or not leading at all at the end of this game. Dale Russell on a nice return pass. Good anticipation by Messing. Messing lays it up. Jungle has a breakaway. It's Jungle, one-on-one. Poole, great save. Ball's loose out front. Jungle battling, scores! What a play by Steve Jungle. Number 7, Steve Jungle beat Mickey Poole, then took it all the way along the dasher boards, settled the ball, beat Danny Geerling. Geerling could not handle the ball inside the box. Nice play by Jungle, 33rd goal.
Here we'll see it on the replay, and really we'll see if the assist goes to Shep Messing. The ball is thrown out. The defender goes down. Mick Poole coming out trying to kick the ball away because he can't use his hands out there. Danny Geerling, St. Louis National Youth Team player, just can't get over there. Jungle, and opportunities like that consistently in the 2 years that we've seen him in the Major Indoor Soccer League, has taken opportunities like that and scored goals for the New York Arrows, putting them up 1-0. There's Coach Don Popovich, who we had a chance to visit with before tonight's game, and we asked him what it would take to beat Houston in the Summit.
They're a very difficult team to beat here. We have to put a really lots of effort and take the game very serious. And the other things, you know, we have to not allow them to pass the ball. We have to put the pressure on them even here. And because they are very well known like a running team, and if we stop them from the beginning, if we put the pressure on them, I think we have a good chance to beat them tonight.
So Arrows head coach Don Popovich says, pressure them, pressure them, pressure them. That's the way to beat Houston. Don't let them run on you. Let's watch and see if that's in fact what New York does.
One of the interesting stats that's come out of this Houston team this year, having scored the first goal in a game, they have yet to lose. And so it was critical for New York, if we can believe those statistics.
Boy, Kyle, you're getting into this color job.
I'll tell you, it's nice.
Julie V lays it. Broncos Segota, great shot. Luis Alberto, left foot, puts it up over the top of the goal. But you saw Segota with one of his favorite shots. One of the goaltender's unfavorite shots is Segota has a powerhouse leg. You look at double-aught Mickey Poole of Houston.
And Segota not only has the power, but as we've mentioned before, Terry, he releases his shot so quickly that it's very difficult for defenders or for the goalkeeper to anticipate the direction that the shot is going to take.
Valtucci lays it Luis Alberto. This is Segota, number 20. Segota looking for Julie V out on the left. Intercepted by Jimmy Palahan. If you watch what the goaltender has to look for, you'll see what it takes to play goaltender in the Indoor Soccer League. Watch the power of the shot coming in on you. This is Segota. Whap! Look at Poole on his back anticipating. And you see when he hits the ground, ladies and gentlemen, he leaves a lot of net wide open.
He does, and he's almost just trying to use his body to block as much of the net as he possibly can, because from that distance, particularly when you have the power of a Segota, there's no way to react to the shot. It's an instinct situation, and you're just trying to hope that he hits it into you and not into the goal.
New York on top, 1-0, 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Luis Alberto to Dave Dorico. David Dorico, number 2, with the right foot. Long pass, Luis Alberto. Morielli, low-scoring first period for these two teams. Not that they aren't good defensive teams, they just both have outstanding forwards.
I was interested, Terry, to have you tell me that the last game in New York was the first time in at least 5 or 6 where New York has not scored 10 goals, and when they just scored, I guess it was 8 against Hartford. And there at Nassau Veterans Coliseum, they have just scored a massive goals.
You see in the midfield the play. This is Tony Vaccaro, the Canadian. He beats Dorico's shot. Oh, and he had Jerry Morielli on the left wing. Morielli misfires, a wide open net. This is Houston pressuring. Finally, Segota with a neat move. Moves around, lays it right wing. Julie V, return pass. Neil Cohen, nice move by Segota, left foot. Great play by Ian Anderson. What a play by Ian Anderson, and that shows what you were talking about, Kyle. He's playing a little more defensive this year.
Well, he is, and Kenny Cooper felt that his team in preseason lacked the defensive play of an Ian Anderson like that, who in the outdoor league is a defender. Ian playing as a forward and is still listed as a forward in the program, but he's given up that opportunity to score goals. Has taken a very selfless attitude that coaches love to have in some of their players. So Ian, we won't see him scoring goals this year, but he will see him making those great defensive plays that prevent other teams from scoring goals.
New York's on top, 1-0, 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the Summit in Houston, Texas. 60 degrees there, ladies and gentlemen. When I left New York, it was freezing, Kyle. I'll tell you, it was nice to get on here. Here's a play in the midfield. Everybody looks at you when you get off the airplane. You got 3 woolen sweaters on, and it's 70 degrees down here. Play in the offensive zone of Houston. They're pressuring right now. Danny Geerling and Ian Anderson playing catch. Houston trailing by a goal. That's Stremlau, turns, fires. Al Trost. Trost took Dale Russell right to the boards. Look at Coach Popovich, Kyle. He has got a whole new team on the field practically with Al Trost and Doug Pollard with Chilla back with Urshani. You know, he's really saving legs. This is a little bit of tactic by Coach Popovich, and he's showing more and more as the weeks go on.
Well, and it's not just tactic, but these are good players. This Ray Bigliotti, who's just been signed from South Carolina, is someone that Popovich is very high on, former high school All-American. Played 2 years there in South Carolina.
Bigliotti has shown great promise, number 5 for New York. He has all the ingredients to become a good indoor player. And what might those be, Kyle? What do you look for a good indoor player?
Well, you have to have quickness. There's no question that you just start with that, and skill in tight positions. In fact, as we've said earlier in the year, that's why U.S. national team coach Walt Chisowich likes his players to play indoors, because he knows that his players are going to get the stress situations, situations where you've got 2 or 3 people kicking at your legs at once, and it will make them calmer under pressure after a season of indoor. So having skill is certainly important, but also being calm under pressure would be another skill.
You see New York battling. That's Callahan. He hits the turf. It'll be a free kick. That was Laurie Milligan. Here's a free kick. That's Laszlo Urshani. He lays it out. Bigliotti loses control. This is Houston. Stewart jump with the left foot, looking for the rebound out front. Nobody home for Houston. New York settles, trying to clear the ball out of their own zone. That's Al Trost. Trost coming out of St. Louis, Missouri. You'll notice a lot of American players in the indoor soccer league. A minimum of 12 of the 16 players on this field on either team have to be Americans.
And Trost, who has been a 3-time outdoor All-Star and was also a 4-time All-American at St. Louis University. Also a 2-time Herman Award winner, which is similar to the Heisman that we would know in football. He's had quite a career. As I have mentioned before, he scored a great goal against Poland in 1973, which is the first time I think we've ever beaten Poland outdoors. And,
we're tough outdoors.
We are tough. But Trost is probably the most skillful American midfielder that we've had, and was certainly the the first star midfielder that we've had in the United States.
He probably played against some of my relatives in that game. You see the time running down, 30 seconds left in the first quarter. New York's on top, 1-0. This is Molnar, time running down. Molnar, long pass, Doug Pollard, offside pass, crossing over both red lines. The field is basically divided into 3 areas. You have your offensive and/or defensive zone, the red lines going across. If you look to the right of the red line, that's an offensive zone for Houston. In the middle, it's the midfield play, 2 red lines. If the ball crosses over both of those red lines in the air without touching one of your teammates offsides, the play comes back. One of the few restrictions about how the game moves indoors. Shot way up high into the crowd. You see time remaining, 12 seconds.
By Seppo Pukka, who was Finland's Player of the Year the last 2 years, and also plays on the national team with Kai Haskeby, who you mentioned before, Terry, is the leading scorer in the MISL right now.
I know one of his friends playing hockey in the NHL. I'll give you his name in a second. You see the shot by Anderson. Time runs down, 2 seconds as the ball goes up over the plexiglass. Ready for this guy's name? The first time I saw it, I knew Pekka Radicalio. Played for Winnipeg in the WHA. All these guys have like 6-syllable names.
That's why you're doing play-by-play. I'm doing color.
Messing will send the ball way downfield. The clock will elapse. We have played the first 15 minutes of the Major Indoor Soccer League here in Houston, Texas. The New York Arrows on top of the Houston Summit Sockers, 1-0.
If you're looking for a full-size car in this stormy economic climate, consider a Buick LeSabre. It helps insulate you from chilling gas prices with impressive full-size car mileage.
And comforts you by showing the highest resale value of any full-size car over the last 2 years, with a luxurious interior in which to forget the cold, cruel world. Buick LeSabre, I tell you, things look a lot brighter from in here.
LeSabre. Buy or lease one at your Buick dealers.
To everybody who puts in a hard day's work, this Bud's for you.
This Bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. You know it isn't only what you say, it's what you do. This Bud's for you. This Bud's for you. For all you do, the king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
Hey, this Bud's for you.
Ooh la la, Sassoon.
Coaching in the indoor soccer game is a lot different from coaching soccer anywhere else. There's the defending champion, Don Popovich, head coach of the Arrows. Coach Popovich not only has a great team, but he is learning how to play the indoor game. He's using the boards, using a lot of legs, has a power play team, has a short-handed team. There you look at the head coach of the Houston Summit Sockers, Kenny Cooper. He took over for Timo Liakowski, who last year with his Houston Summit soccer team was voted the coach of the year in the MISL, and he had an outstanding season. He moved on elsewhere, and Kenny Cooper stepped in. That's a tough job to step into a team that was formed and molded by another gentleman, but he has done an outstanding job. He's a friend of yours, Kyle.
Yes, he is, a former roommate for 5 years, and we might mention that Kenny also holds a record of distinction in indoor soccer, in addition to also holding the all-time record in outdoor for the number of shutouts in a career, 52. But there have only been 4 shutouts in the history of indoor soccer, and Kenny Cooper was in goal for 2 of those, and so he's in the record books in indoor soccer.
Roommates for 5 years, huh?
On the road, yes.
On the road, yes. Your wife is glad to hear that, Cal. You look at Mickey Poole. There's Shep Messing, the keeper for the New York Arrows. Two teams will switch ends as they do at each quarter. Now, what will happen is, as you look from behind Messing, we'll show you that shot a couple of times. You'll see what the goaltender goes through. Two teams switch. Home team kicks off. Visitors kicked off on the first and third quarters. Home team second and fourth. Teams have switched ends. Houston moving right to left in their home uniforms. Arrows in their road uniforms, white with a red trim. Arrows on top, 1-0. Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. We're at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Messing distributes right wing, 21 Val Tuchia. Luis Alberto gives it away to Stremlau, but David Dorico is right there for New York. That's Tuchia. Dorico. This is Ian Anderson. Again, Kyle, they seem to be feeling each other out just a little bit.
Well, these are the two top teams or two top lines for both teams. The line of Hoskovy and Dale Russell and John Stremlau is the highest scoring line in the league. And Segota and Jungle together scored a few goals themselves. Here's Dorico, former All-American from Hartwick College, who played with the U.S. national team for 5 years.
Luis Alberto inside of Broncos Segota. Segota back out. Dorico leaves it for Jungle. Jungle has to come get the pass. Now he turns. Jungle, very dangerous shot off the boards. There's Segota inside. He scores. Bronco Segota showing the sheer strength of an 18-year-old. His second year in the MISL. Took a rebound pass, fed it off two defensemen, and scored his 33rd goal.
Well, that's 32 for Segota and 32 for Jungle. And as we've said before, here we'll see it on replay. Great play here by Jungle, getting by Geerling to get the cross in. And it looks like it was a trash goal, but Segota keeping his balance as much as he possibly could. His 33rd goal, tying him for the league in the Atlantic Division number of goals scored with his teammate.
His teammate is the man who gave him the pass, Steve Jungle. You brought an interesting point up our last game, Kyle, and that is you get a point for an assist and you get a point for a goal. That makes a lot of players unselfish, and as a result, a lot of balanced scoring in the MISL. Segota and Jungle still on the field for New York with Luis Alberto. That's Dorico, number 2. He's got Val Tuchia on his right. Houston has Kai Hoskovy. He just shoved Luis Alberto to the ground. Hoskovy, number 6. John Stremlau, Dale Russell, Ian Anderson, and Danny Geerling. Referee talking to Kai Hoskovy. Hoskovy missed the Houston game the other night that they lost in overtime, that Kyle referred to earlier. Hoskovy out for 1 game with a toe injury, starting back in tonight. That broke a record Hoskovy had scored in every game he played in this season. This is Hoskovy, number 6. Hoskovy, look at the movement by Kai Hoskovy. What a great pass inside to Stremlau. And I think it was a brilliant idea. It's too bad Stremlau didn't share it with him.
Well, Hoskovy at one time this year had scored hat tricks in 4 consecutive games. And he is almost as valuable to this Houston team as a Fred Gregoriev would be to the Philadelphia team that we've seen in the past.
Jungle, hard shot with the left foot. It nearly bounces off of Mickey Poole. And Poole shouting instructions to the defenseman saying, hey, don't let that guy tee off on me. And watch it again. Watch Jungle again. He feds the defenseman off, and here's Segota. Left foot. Look at that. Now that is some serious skill, isn't it, Kyle, to hit a ball like that?
It is, particularly when you don't have time to trap it, and you've got a defender right on your shoulder, and you don't have a very good angle.
There's Segota again, lays it off the boards, and there you saw Jungle come in looking for the header. Tuchia, long shot, no good, outside of the goal mouth. Dorico settles. Tuchia leaves it there for him. Hoskovy open on left wing. They finally cover up on Kai Hoskovy. This is Luis Alberto, give and go. Nice return pass. Alberto just couldn't settle. And there you saw an example, Kyle, of having to settle the ball before you could take the shot. 3-on-2 break for Houston. Geerling inside. There's Russell, left foot. Shot saved by Shep Messing.
Well, here we've got a 2-on-1 fast break for New York.
Down here, Jungle all alone. Jungle, great. Tibor Molnar. Oh, what a save by Ian Anderson. Anderson with his left foot. Tibor Molnar had an open net. He didn't put much on it. Jungle with a great pass. He drew all the defensemen over to him and then laid it to Molnar. And that's unusual for Molnar because the number of shots he takes versus the number of goals he has scored, he's very accurate. Right. He just kind of pushed that one, Kyle.
Well, you're just trying to, we got a timeout being called by Houston. Each team has allowed 1 of those per half. And with the intensity of the attack, it's one of the great things about indoor soccer is whenever you get a fast break, as Houston did initially, if the defensive team can get the ball back, they're going to have a fast break on you, similar to what you'd have in basketball. So a 3-on-2 break for Houston reverts to a 2-on-1 fast break for New York. And we now have a timeout for the
Shep
Houston
Messing has really played brilliantly in the indoor season this year, and we'll show you why he is such a highly regarded player. Oskavy lays it off. Right there is Gearling. Now the return pass. Look at Messing on the line. He's at the far post. Now watch where he ends up in this shot. Boom, there he is. Look at that save. That is the opposite post from where he was lined up a minute ago. Messing wears number 1 for the New York Arrows. You see the bandage over his eye. He took a couple of stitches in that eye the other night. He took a shot over the right eye, actually. Took a shot off of there. Let's talk about the next upcoming Arrows game, which is February 3rd against the Poster Night. And one of the players you can see, Kyle, is David DeRico.
Right, and before the game tonight, we asked Dave DeRico what you have to do to stop Kai Hoskavy, the league's leading scorer, from scoring.
Well, Kai Hoskavy is a very intelligent player, very quick, knows how to play the boards. What we're going to have to do is be very aware of him, anticipate the balls, protect the ball off the board, and play him as intelligent, as toughly as we can.
DeRico, who came to the Arrows this year, has been a great addition, and you heard him talk about what it takes to stop Kai Hoskavy. They have not only stopped Hoskavy so far, they have stopped the entire Houston Summit soccer team. 11 minutes, 10 seconds remaining, and this is the second quarter. Second of 4 15-minute quarters divided into 2 half times. Arrows on top 2-0. McLaughlin, long shot. Julie V makes the save. And if you watched in the bottom of your screen, you saw the goaltender hit the ground. You have to anticipate if you're a goaltender. Look at Julie V. Leaves it for Strenitzer. Strenitzer off left wing. This is Tibor Molnar. Molnar down low. Julie V can't get to the ball. Tibor Molnar showing a nice heel pass inside Julie V. V has the ball taken away by Neil Cohen. It's an offside pass, and it'll come back to the point where that ball left.
V going off the field holding his knee, but he'll be covered all night by Neil Cohen, defender who just came to to Houston this year, played in Dallas, was one of their youngest assigned players ever, high school All-American, came out at the age of 17 to play professionally. As Kenny Cooper tries to put man-for-man on V and on Jungle tonight.
Jungle left-footed shot. Oh, it was just wide, and Neil Cohen has to cover up. And you saw one of Jungle's great attributes, and that is he can take the ball and move either right or left around the defenseman and shoot equally as hard. You go down low with the players right onto the field as you look at the ball go down into the left-hand corner. Pushing is the call. You see Jimmy McLaughlin, number 16 of New York. Morielli for Houston, left-footed shot looking inside for Oskavy. Nobody home. Steve Jungle battles by Larry Milligan. Look at Jungle. He's got a lot of speed. Jungle moves around 2 defenders. Winds up shot. Partially blocked by Jerry Morielli, and Jungle shows a great burst of speed to get to the right wing. Here comes Houston on the return. Palahan, left-footed shot, saved by Shep Messing. Header right back into Messing's hands, and Palahan, former New York Arrows player, tests his friend and camaraderie with Shep Messing. Messing doesn't allow the goal. This is Jerry Morielli. Goaltenders like Messing anticipate after playing with guys like Jimmy Palahan, they know how they shoot. He knows Jimmy Palahan has a strong left leg. He also knows that he had surgery on the other one. So he had to be looking for the left leg. Anticipation, that's what Messing does so well indoors. Strenitzer. Strenitzer inside, not a particularly good pass. Jungle comes away with the ball anyway. Renato Chilla, number 4, off the Trost. Trost lays it down low. Strenitzer, look how low and deep inside as Jungle raises his hands. He was all alone. Look how deep in the defensemen are in the indoor game. They're right into the offensive thrust. That's Renato Chilla. Now watch Chilla. This is a defenseman. It's a 3-on-2 break for New York. Chilla left wing. Jungle shot. Saved by Mickey Poole. Tempo of the game picking up. End-to-end action. Oskavy, another great play by Chilla. Chilla's beautiful. I love to watch him play this indoor game. And he always shakes his head. He's such a nice guy. Knocks you down on the ground. He comes over and he's standing over you. Now watch Chilla. If This is Messing's save on Jimmy Palahan, former teammate. Watch Palahan
gets it to his left leg. Messing gets knocked down on the initial shot, right back up on his feet. That's another good hint for our goalkeepers. When you make the first save, don't just stay there and admire it. Get right back up on your feet.
Would you say that that's Shep's probably greatest attribute at this time is the fact that he can get up and down so quickly?
Yeah, there's no question. The only weakness that anyone has ever been able to attribute to Shep Messing has been balls in the air. And frankly, in the last few years, he's gotten very good at those. So I don't know that he has a fundamental weakness necessarily, but you'd have to say that his strength isn't getting down on balls and reaction time. But we might also
reaction time, very important in the indoor game because they never stop coming at you.
Right.
This is John Stremlau, another St. Louis boy, Ian Anderson. Anderson just granted a green card. That means he is now a working man in the United States. Look at Oskavy with a header, gives it back. Dale Russell returns the pass off of his head. Nice display of skill by these Houston Summit Soccer. Score 2-0. New York on top of Houston. 7:20 remaining, second quarter. Oskavy also being not man-to-man, but double-teamed almost. Luis Alberto moves around. Alberto battling Oskavy. Alberto still in control, takes a shot. You saw Poole on the ground. Double odd for Houston. There's the score. New York on top of Houston, 2-0. We're in the second quarter, just under 7 minutes. I think Houston has to be a little worried at this point because they have attacked a couple of times and Messing's come up big. Nice defensive posture by the New York Arrows. Arrows playing much better defense this year, Kyle. Look at that shot by Palahan.
Yes, they are, Terry. Defensively, we know Shep Messing holds all sorts of records in this major indoor soccer league because last year he faced more shots than almost any goalkeeper. As Anderson has a chance in the corner.
Ian Anderson came way out as Messing had to come out of goal to settle, and Anderson beat him off the boards. There was nobody home for Houston. Stewart jump to Danny Geerling. Geerling back to Stu Jump. Number 13, Stewart Jump, fine player for Houston. This is Palahan again, the left foot. Look at Messing anticipate all the way. You will hear a totally unbiased game out of Kyle Rote tonight. These are all of his former teammates. As a matter of fact, they are your teammates, a lot of these guys, in the outdoor season, these Houston Summit Soccers. This is Danny Geerling. Geerling, nice move around two men. Morielli off the boards. There's Geerling, but Dorico covers up. David Dorico showing he knows how to play the indoor game. Covers up, jump, long shot up over the top of the plexiglass, and New York gets a break.
But in all fairness, I must tell you that several of the Arrows were former teammates of mine as well on the U.S. national team and also on the NASL Indoor All-Star team. Games we played several years ago against the Russians up in Toronto. So players like Gene Strenicher, who I played with, and Dave Dorico, I'm trying to be unbiased as best as I can. And I grew up in Westchester, so I'm a New York guy.
What's that Summit Soccer t-shirt?
Don't do that.
This is Segota. Look at Segota. Right foot shot. Oh, it's just wide. Jungle on a rebound. Steve Jungle, the tempo of the game, starting to pick up. Morielli, nice move. Tuksha picks the ball up. Look how far the defenders are up, pressuring this Houston team. There's Jungle. Shot. Oh, it hit the corner of the goalpost. Segota settles, beats the defender. Segota shot. Saved by Poole.
Fantastic save by Mick Poole, but we also saw just before that Jungle playing the ball to himself off the wall. What we would normally call a wall pass in outdoor soccer is normally a pass between two men, but in the indoor you can play it off a wall. As Stremlau over the
great pass by John Stremlau. He lays it right into Kai Oskavy, and Oskavy, knowing where to be all the time, sticks it in the goal for Houston, and Oskavy and Jungle continue to battle for the scoring lead.
That's Oskavy's 34th goal. That's got to be the 17th assist for John Stremlau. Stremlau, Oskavy sneaking in behind the defense. That's a very difficult shot, Terry, because even though he's there against the far post, to try and keep the ball low enough is a difficult skill. We saw Dave Dorico trying to go over and cover, but Oskavy sneaking behind, bringing the margin to just one goal.
You look at Messing, he just gave up his first goal of the evening. Houston pulls within one with 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Major indoor soccer league action here on WPIX, 11 alive in New York. We hope everyone's enjoying this, the fourth of 10 telecasts on PIX. Another chance right out front. Strenitzer finally lifting his leg high. Beats the defenders, goes to the ground. Finally, 2-minute penalty for holding to Ian Anderson. And boy, he's got to be hot over this call.
Well, he better not say much to referee Ed Bellion, or he'll tack on another 2 minutes for dissent. Anderson obviously not pleased, because New York is tough on the man advantage situations, as DeRico will take the free kick for New York. We'll see the penalty again. Apparently Anderson, as he right there, was holding Strenitzer with the right arm on the back of his pants, similar to what we've seen on professional wrestling, it looks like.
There's Ian Anderson, the assistant coach for Houston. He's in the box for 2 minutes. New York's on the power play. They're ahead 2-1, 4:14 remaining on the clock. Minute 45 remaining on the penalty. Segota hits Strenitzer in the back of the head. There's DeRico wide open on the left. He's a left-footed shot right out front. Jump finally cleared.
Obviously, what has happened here, that pass off Strenitzer's head was not intentional, but is that there are certain positions. Strenitzer, supposedly a point man, now moves down to the point. He was playing outside. There it is to Strenitzer in the corner. And back out to DeRico.
DeRico takes a shot. Nice play by Jim Polahan to clear it off the head.
And what must have happened was, in pre-game, they tried to get Strenitzer to go into the corner. Apparently, he just forgot. And now
shot by Bronco Segota. What a great shot by Segota. And on the run, he never settled the ball. He hit it on the fly, the right foot of Bronco Segota. And Segota, the brilliant 18-year-old, scores his 33rd goal. Holy mackerel.
Actually, I believe that's his 34th goal, which is going to tie him for Kai Hoskevy. There we see it. Unmarked into the far corner. He put it away and kept it low, which is, again, another skill. Your great finishers, your great scorers, when they have to, they don't blast the ball. They just caress it into the corners. There we saw the example of Segota just putting it inside the post from going against the grain from McPool's movement. Puts New York up 3-1 with just 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this first half.
What a pretty play by Bronco Segota, number 20 of New York. And Segota, who last year was signed as a 17-year-old, had his 18th birthday this year. He's a nice kid, Bronco Segota, and he certainly can play this game. Hoskevy lays it off to Stremlau. Stremlau's run over by Jim McLaughlin. Everybody in the stands calling for two. They want 2 minutes.
Well, you can't say too much about Segota, as Ed Bellion is explaining to John Stremlau, a former All-American from St. Louis University, holding his jaw there. But Segota is going to do some great things for the Canadian national team, and you would think that their future would be pretty bright if they can keep Segota on the field.
This is Kai Hoskevy for Houston to take the free kick with 3:20 remaining.
He's got a bad right toe. For those people who remember Calvin Hill when he played with Dallas, football player, he had a bad toe as well. As Cohen trying to hit the ball,
it was loose right out front. What did he do? He stubbed the toe?
Stubbed the toe in practice, and it doesn't sound like much. As Jungle wide open.
Shot, what a save by Poole with the right hand. As he had Julie B on the left. Watch the power of Jungle.
Here we'll see it again. Pass to the outside of the right foot. Jungle keeping the ball low. Poole, a great save. That's Poole's 4th or 5th great save off Jungle tonight. Jungle has hit post. He's hit bars. He's always on net. He's always on net, always forcing the team to make the save. You rarely see Jungle put a ball up into the crowd.
Time remaining in the second quarter, 2 minutes 55 seconds. Arrows on top of Houston, 3-1. Hoskevy left wing pass, Dale Russell, number 1 line out for Houston now. This is Hoskevy's shot. What a save by Messing, two-handed save. Hoskevi picks up the loose ball. Nice play by Jimmy McLaughlin, strips Hoskevi of the ball. Luis Alberto Jungle fakes a wall pass to himself. Now he beats the defender. Jungle has Luis Alberto, but Milligan turns around and intercepts the ball.
Good defensive play by Houston, realizing how great a player Stevie Jungle is, taking back another defender to try and guard him with 2 players, and they were able to steal the ball. Haven't been many players in the MISL who have been able to stay with Steve Jungle man for man.
This is Hoskevy for Houston, leaves it up for John Stremlau. Stremlau, Julie V comes out and marks him. V tries to lift the ball over Stremlau's head. Tuksha on a long run, left wing. This is Val Tuksha. Yeah, runs the defender. Tuksha has Jungle. Jungle marking his time on the run now. Tuksha gives it inside. Look at Jungle protect the ball with his body. What a great move. Jungle inside on Neil Cohen. Jungle 2 spins. Loose ball. There's Tibor Molnar. Oh, what a save. Looked like a handball on the defender, but no call, Kyle.
Well, we might see it on replay. Certainly Mick Poole was there as well, but it may have been Blackpool English player Laurie Milligan who really made the save. As the ball comes back out, it looks like it might have been Milligan.
It's a nice play. Did he ever play goaltender?
In those situations, it doesn't make any difference. You do whatever you can to keep the ball from going in the net, and they're just very lucky that Ed Bellion was out of position, and apparently the alternate referee was out of position to see that as well.
A minute remaining in the second quarter. This is Kai Oskavy, who has Houston's 1 goal. New York on top 3-1. One of those a power play goal to Broncos Segota. This is Jerry Morielli. He's being marked by Renato Chilla. Look at Chilla, good defenseman Chilla. This is Oskavy. Tibor Molnar, who's had 2 shots at goal and literally robbed both times. Molnar in control. Nice play by Molnar. Still in control. A tripping penalty to Kai Oskavy. Tibor Molnar not too happy about that one. And you'll see he definitely went, when he moved around to 1 man, Kai definitely takes his leg up right there.
Yeah, and it wasn't so violent when Kai first went for the ball, but as he was on the ground, he lifted his leg up. And actually, he's quite lucky that he didn't get a penalty called on him there.
Time winding down, 15 seconds remaining in the second quarter. New York played a good first half, a very good defensive first half. And just what Coach Don Popovich said at the top of the show as you saw him, he said, you got to pressure Houston. You can't let them run. And Houston hasn't run tonight in this first half.
Well, I think they've tried to, but anytime it's easier, I should say, easier to defend. It's easier to deny and destroy than it is to create. And when a team like New York...
That's a great quote, Kyle. I like it.
Well, thank you.
It's easier to deny and destroy than create.
That's correct. As we see a new record by a Houston Summit player for kicking up into the stands, going up into the second deck. There's Shep Messing again with the patch on his eye.
We played 1 full half, 30 minutes. The New York Arrows are on top of the Houston Summit Sockers 3-1. We'll be back for halftime right after this.
One and only. And by Buick and your tri-state area Buick dealers. And defending a 6.5 by 12 foot wide goal, he has the capabilities of being very quick. With tremendous guts, he never backs off a dangerous situation. He's the goaltender. There's been an incredible growth and development in the last 5 years of soccer in America. In the next 5 years, the talent development will increase amazingly. Nowhere is that evidenced more than the American goalkeeper. Using talents developed through the early years of basketball, baseball, and football, American players have adapted to goalkeeping easier than any other aspect of the game of soccer. Showing great ability and exceptional reflexes, Americans have excelled in goal. The hand and eye coordination has never been so evident. Isn't that right, Shep? Sometimes, as the last man on the defense, you take the blame for all the goals, even when it's your own teammate. But more often than not, it's the goaltender who remains cool in a time of frenzy. Facing as many as 100 shots in a game, one wonders, why would anyone take on the job of a goaltender? That is, until he makes plays like this.
Fast moving, a lot of action.
Well, I think it's great for soccer because soccer
has originated basically in the United States in St. Louis. And you're right on top of the players, and you can see the fantastic skills these young men have, and it's a very fast game. And
Soccer League is here to stay in St. Louis. League Commissioner Earl Foreman has already called it a phenomenon, and perhaps he is right. The success of the indoor game, like any other major professional sport, depends on the people that come to see it. It's a new kid on the block, and the folks have to support it. I'm Kevin Slayton reporting in St. Louis.
All the other coaches in the league understand how important that can be, so we don't see quite the innovation that we saw last year from Leiweke. And Kenny Cooper has the defensive perspective because he played in goal, but may not have, because he wasn't a forward and because it's his first coaching assignment, may not have the experience to know quite how to coach.
Houston breaking quickly into their own zone. It was Stewart jump on the left. Dale Russell had the ball, number 10, but quickly New York gains control. Luis Alberto comes out of his own zone. Alberto, number 8, gives it off left wing. This is Julie V. V, what a move by Julie V. Julie V around one man. Shot, he scores. Unbelievable play by Julie V. He has such great control of the ball. Watch him put his foot on top of the ball, offer it to the defenseman, bring it back. As soon as the defenseman commits himself, boom, he's around him, and what a shot. Left-footed shot.
Well, you've just described what we're about to see. As he offers it, pulls it away from Milligan, and sees that he's got the post, hits it from probably 12 to 15 feet out, and it just doesn't give Mick Poole a chance to react.
Is that what you do, Kyle? In the indoor game, it seems the players that really have the control of the ball in the tight areas seem to be really the goal scorers in the indoor game.
Well, there are many ways to skin the cat, as we know, and a player like Segota rarely does something like what V does, and each has his own way of scoring goals, but each can be as exciting as the other. And particularly when you're a coach and you see your team go up 4-1, you don't care how it goes in the net.
Nice crowd on hand here in Houston. The Summit, the magnificent Summit. It's the home of the NBA Houston Rockets. Building's about 4 years old. It's a magnificent building. At either end of this arena, they have 2 Idafor systems. Those are 2 huge television screens, 20 by 40-foot screens. And what you see on your television screen at home, the folks here in the Summit are able to watch up on the screens, including all the replays. The only thing they don't see are Kyle and I, which is probably a relief to a lot of these players. This is Jungle, left-footed shot, great save by Mickey Poole. We'll show you what we were talking about there. As Ian Anderson moves across the midfield stripe, there's a whistle, and they're going to bring it back. That's the tell screen, Kyle. It's a magnificent building. As you look at those screens, and the fans here in the stands, because of the closeness of the roof and the building, it's like sitting in your living room and watching games. It's a great system.
It really is. It gives you the advantage of replay, which most players, most fans enjoy, but it also gives you the advantage of being part of the excitement of a live event. And referees do not like to come in here. As we see Jungle down, apparently hit his shoulder into the dasher boards. Referees don't like to come in here because they get second-guessed all the time. And you can bet that any type of controversial call is going to be put up on that tell screen, and we can hear the crowd respond.
This building also housed the WHA Houston Aeros. This is the building where Gordie Howe, when he came out of retirement to play with his 2 sons in the World Hockey Association, made his entrance back here.
We saw Jungle in a similar situation 2 weeks ago, Terry. He hit his head in New York, split it wide open, and so this game of indoor soccer, even though they're not wearing pads and contact, is supposed to be incidental to the purpose of the game. It can be dangerous.
Just a reminder to you fans in New York watching this game on WPIX, the Aeros play at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. You can see the Aeros when they return home February 3rd. That's Sunday afternoon against the Cleveland Force. Tickets are on sale. The Nassau Coliseum box office, or you can call the Aeros 516 area code 692-7769. That's NYARROW. That's a little hard to remember sometimes. That equates to 692-7769. You see the New York Aeros. They're the defending champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Messing gives the ball way out. Arrows moving right to left. They lead in this game 4-1. This is Val Tuccia. Arrows have been totally in control of the game except for a few brief moments. And the way they have done that is they have cut off the offensive attack of Houston. Now, this is the Summit Soccer's Houston's John Stremlau. Gives the right wing, Danny Geerling. 17, Geerling back to Stremlau, number 8. Inside, Ian Anderson leaves it. Return pass. There's Stremlau. Nice play. What a beautiful give and go. That was as fine a play as you'll see indoors as Stremlau and Ian Anderson combine on Houston's second goal to bring the Summit Sockers within 2 of the Arrows.
That's Stremlau's 15th goal of the year. Plays the 1-2 with Ian Anderson. Great pass back with the outside, and to get it just over off the inside of the post as Messing comes out. Can't make the save. Stremlau, who now, I believe that moves him into 4th place in the Central Division scoring leadership. Part of that highest scoring line in the MISL with Dale Russell, former All-American from Philadelphia Textile, Stremlau, and Kai Hoskevy.
So Stremlau gets his 14th goal of the season. Possibly 15th goal. I don't know. We look at the stats. One says 14, the other says 15. At any rate, John Stremlau has scored Houston's 2nd goal of the evening. McLaughlin, you saw him intercept the pass as they're trying to cut Kai Hoskevy off. Don't let Kai get the ball, then you don't have to worry about him scoring. This is Jungle. Jungle return pass. Strenitzer, nice move. On that last goal, I think Laszlo Arshani had the same thought that Laurie Milligan did. You see his hands immediately went to the air. That has to be tough, Kyle, to get rid of the use of the hands.
Well, particularly if you're an American player, as Dale Russell goes down.
Russell, nice play by McLaughlin. Luis Alberto, great save by Messing. Two-handed save. He puts it up on a board. Play out front. Arrows can't clear. Finally, Luis Alberto gives it to Jungle. What a flurry. Look at Jungle. One-on-one move. Return pass. Shot. Great save. Poole. Rebound up off the top. Unbelievable end-to-end action as the tempo of the game really picks up as you look at Mickey Poole. But at the other end, boy, Messing had to make 2 great saves. This is Luis Alberto. Shot. McLaughlin wide just to the left. Here comes Houston. Houston out of their own zone. 2-on-1 break. Hustling back. McLaughlin. Callahan. Shot. Save. Messing with him out. Stewart jump. Hustling in. Trying to get the rebound. Messing comes up big. Jungle goes to the ground and he's down and he's hurt.
Jungle, who had been hurt earlier on the dasher boards, now gets injured by defender Neil Cohen. And before the game, we asked Stevie Jungle what it took to score on the Houston team here in the Summit.
We need to play, put the pressure on that team and play together and give to, the good passes, and play, like we need, we take that game so seriously, and I hope so. That will be, the good game tonight.
Well, a good game it is, Mr. Jungle, and he has been a big part of it. And because of Jungle being taken to the ground, Neil Cohen, number 4 of Houston, goes to the box for a penalty. 2-minute penalty. Segota shot, rebound outside. Wow, what a shot by Jungle. Excuse me, Segota. I don't even believe that happened so fast. I don't know how the goal judge even reacted to it. Well, Segota, right when the penalty started, there's only minute 46 still remaining in a penalty. Segota with a left foot, Kyle. That's what's so amazing. Hit that thing in a rebound before you even know what happened.
Segota's 35th goal as he hits the first shot high off the boards. Comes right back to him. There it is. The rebound off the glass. And he keeps it low. Poole having no time to react, or if he does, he can merely deflect it into the goal. What a great skill that is by Segota, hitting a full volley with the ball in the air, keeping the ball low. Young soccer players, that's a skill to work on.
Kyle, that ball had to rebound off the top of the plexiglass. How far out was he? Although he was past the 24-foot mark. So his initial shot when he made the move rebounded at least 25 feet in the air, and Segota picks it out of midair. New York starting to show dominance. Alberto, great save, Mickey Poole. Luis Alberto had a break on a great pass by Julie V. Here comes Houston. They're never out of any game. Remember, fans, Houston was trailing 7-2 going into the fourth quarter at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And with a minute to go in that game, the score was 8-7. New York finally won it. But don't ever count this Houston team down and out. Shungle hustling back. Finally, they pick up the loose ball. Wow, Kyle, they really picked up this third quarter. They're now getting after each other.
Well, they are, and Houston still with some of their penalty-killing unit. Charlie DeLong there with the ball. Normally only plays on penalty-killing situations. Trying to get him off, I would imagine. And they're unable to do it, so if Houston looks a little bit out of order, that may be one reason.
Here's a pass inside, but Luis Alberto intercepts the pass. New York Arrows, defending champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League, return home February 3rd to play Cleveland in the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. You can get tickets for that game or any Arrows game. Just call 516 area code. Call them now. They're on hand, 692-7769. What's that number again? 516 area code. Then call 692-7769. You call that, and you will find a friendly Arrows representative to tell you how you can come out and see the defending champions play this, the Major Indoor Soccer League. Been a great year so far, Kyle. I mean, really exceptional play.
And as we said, there have been rivalries now. New York has a rivalry with every team in the league. They may not think so, but all the other teams do.
David DeRico with a right foot, and that is a defender, ladies and gentlemen, way downfield. Milligan makes a move. DeRico took that shot. He really fired the shot. Defenders love it, don't they, Kyle, that they can get that close to the net and take a shot on goal?
This is the first time. As we said earlier, defenders are normally, if you hear about them, it's because they've made a mistake and because they've let someone like a Stevie Jungle get by him and score a goal. And here in indoor soccer, they're having to execute the attacking skills just like all the other players on the field, so they are getting shots, and they're taking full advantage of it.
This is Dale Russell. He leads it. Larry Milligan, number 11 for Houston. They trail. Nice play, Luis Alberto. New York on top, 5-2. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Defending champion, New York Arrows, on top of their arch rivals, the Houston Summit Sockers, tripping a call, free kick as Oskavy sits on the ground. Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. in Houston, Texas. With the weather, I was considering swimming today, Kyle.
Well, here we'll have a situation with Kai Oskavy. New York Arrow defender supposed to be 10 yards from the ball. Called for tripping. And this is what we call a set play, and there's some sequence that's been set up by each team as New York reads the pass and steals it.
It looked like that play. There's Oskavy inside. What a shot. What a save by Oskavy. Shep Messing on Oskavy's shot. I don't know how he got over that quickly, Kyle.
We normally tell soccer players not to kick the ball with your toe, but in situations like that, as Oskavy shoots again,
Messing nearly sends it into his own goal.
Well, we normally tell soccer players that you don't shoot with your toe, but in those situations, if you can, right in front of the net, it's all right to do that. Oskavy to Russell.
Houston pressuring, getting back into the game. They trail 5-2, 5 minutes, 40 seconds remaining, third quarter. Shot by Milligan after Houston had really put on a barrage. And Kyle, this Houston team, they're almost like sometimes, and New York does this too, they lull for a while. They lull, and then all of a sudden, boom, boy, and they come after you. They might have fired in that sequence of shots right there. They might have taken 5, 6, 7 shots.
That is always the dilemma of a coach, is how do you get your players to play like that all the time?
You know, Kai, here's a 2-minute penalty.
No doubt about it. For ungentlemanly conduct.
This is where Oskavy will kill you. He will absolutely play it to its fullest extent, and Jim McLaughlin being very mad at the call.
McLaughlin and Billion going over. There we can hear him calling it for ungentlemanly conduct.
We heard him and all the fans.
McLaughlin going into the penalty box for 2 minutes. Here we'll see it again. Once again, it was not the initial foul on Oskavy as Stremlau plays the ball to Oskavy. McLaughlin fouling, or Oskavy claiming the foul, but here you'll see him start to roll the ball away, or he did right after that
Well, that was the same penalty called on Ian Anderson in the first quarter.
Exactly. And to be consistent, he would have to make the call. If he called it on Anderson, on McLaughlin.
All right, Houston on the power play. New York defending. They've killed all the power play opportunities thus far in this game. Oskavy directing traffic, trying to find an opening. Lays it right there. Shot wide. Callahan took the shot. Strenitzer clears it. The penalty to Jimmy McLaughlin. It's dissent to call. 2-minute penalty. Arrows playing short-handed. Ty Oskavy. Houston trailing 5-2. The Arrows have scored 5 good goals to put them on top. Shot! What a shot by Dale Russell. A little lip kick by Val Turcia. Here's a free kick. Houston, they put it into play quickly. Oskavy anticipating, tries to take the rebound off the boards. Callahan, right wing, Ian Anderson takes a shot. It's a rebound shot. What a save by Messing. Did you see that save? Left-handed, put it up over the top of the plexiglass.
Anderson, here we'll see it on replay. Anderson taking the shot off the boards into Stremlau, first time. Messing tips it over the top.
And he played this indoor game, Shep Messing. It was really funny to see the other night. Shep was playing against his brother, Roy Messing, who was the goalkeeper for the Hartford Hellions, and not a bad one at that.
Bellion trying to get the Arrows players to move back 10 feet. They're still not 10, but he's going to allow it.
Jimmy Callahan out for Houston. Anderson tees off. Tibor Molnar comes up with a loose ball, but it's Anderson again for Houston. Houston on the power play for another minute and 10 seconds. Jimmy McLaughlin for New York in the box. Nice play. It's Ershani, number 3, Tibor Molnar, number 2, Dave DeRico, number 7, Steve Jungle for New York.
And if New York can hurry, Jungle's still back up the field. They'll be 5-on-3 for a few seconds.
Jungle finally gets back in position. There's Jungle right there. Jungle breaks out of his own zone. Dale Russell takes it away, but Ershani's there. Tempo of the game has really picked up. 40 seconds remaining in the penalty to McLaughlin of New York. Houston on the power play. Callahan, great pass inside. Oskavy, shot, save, Messing. Return pass by DeRico. And Ershani fakes it, settles, finally sends it way downfield. Eddie Bellion, the referee, says no way is they going to get a delay of game penalty. That is a judgment call.
The Houston fans, because the ball went into the stands from the defensive area, wanting the delay of game penalty, which would have been 2 minutes on New York, called. Bellion feeling that it was not intentional.
Russell shot, save. Jungle takes the rebound, lays it out, right wing. Julie B battling. Jimmy Callahan, no whistle. Yes, finally, look at Callahan and Julie B battle each other.
That's going to be 2 minutes for Jimmy Callahan, as V was going to be on a fast break with only the goalie, Mick Poole, to beat. There you see Julie V with some great speed.
That was really amazing, Kyle.
It was. Not 30 seconds ago, Callahan and Jungle were in the same part of the field. You had the shoulder-to-shoulder contact, and Callahan won the ball. This time, V wins the ball for New York. That's a great example of a player not playing the ball, but playing the man. Callahan showing his tight end tendencies and the ability that he has knocking V off the ball, which is now going to make them even for the next 8 seconds. McLaughlin then coming out of the penalty box, and for then another minute and 52 seconds, it will leave New York with a man advantage situation.
So Jimmy Callahan in the box for Houston, penalty, 2 minutes, as he played the man who would have had a breakaway. New York's penalty, 5 seconds to McLaughlin. He's going to come out of the box, and New York's going to be on the power play for a minute and 50 seconds. There's McLaughlin out of the box. McLaughlin goes to the bench, and Coach Popovich sends Luis Alberto out. So it's Ershani and Segota at the top of the penalty arc with Luis Alberto. Alberto goes down low on the right. Stewart jump steals a pass. Segota takes it back. What a play by Bronco Segota. Julie V, Luis Alberto, New York on the power play. They're on top, 5-2, 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. Segota, Ershani. Look at Messing. Look where Messing picks up this loose ball.
Messing coming all the way out to play the last man like a sweeper. Of course, he can't use his hands, but he can use his feet.
Segota's shot blocked by Stewart Jump at the top of the penalty arc. Houston on the power play for another minute. 2 minutes, 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. New York on top, 5-2. This is Segota. Segota for New York. Lays it inside. What a pass by Bronco Segota. Right inside to Steve Jungle, the scoring machine for New York. And a power play goal by the New York Arrows puts them on top, 6-2.
That's going to be Zungle's 34th goal of the year. The play set up by Segota and Terry, as you mentioned earlier in the telecast. We've seen some great, unselfish play. I think one reason is because they get just as many points in the scoring race for an assist as they do a goal. Jungle there, obviously it's not Mick Poole's fault. That's a defensive mistake by Houston. You never want to leave a Stevie Jungle without a man on it.
Isn't that the same place, Kyle, that Kai Oskavy was, but at the opposite post, the same kind of goal?
Exactly.
So these guys know where they have to be. I mean, they're learning to play the indoor game where they have to be to school.
And in the interview that we had earlier with Dave DeRico, he was talking about having to concentrate and not making those defensive mistakes. He did once and let Oskavy score. And in this case, Houston has lost concentration, allowing Jungle to be left alone in the crease.
You fans in New York, the Arrows took this game very seriously because Houston is tough at home, and they knew they had to make this win in order to make this road trip successful. The Arrows get everybody that the Arrows play, boy, they want to take off on them. Dale Russell's shot. Messing finally takes the loose ball. Messing having a great game for New York tonight. Jungle, not a bad game himself. This is Steve Jungle. Look at the ball control by Jungle. Still in control. Pass, Luis Alberto. Return pass. Tibor Molnar's open on right wing. There's a pass. It's Molnar, one-on-one. Tibor Molnar shot. Oh, it's wide again. That's 3 shots by Tibor Molnar that have actually hit either the corner or the goalpost, and he's been one-on-one each time.
And I think Mick Poole just barely got his shoulder on the ball. He wasn't trying to, but Molnar's shot just hitting the shoulder of Poole, or it would have been in the goal.
Messing pulls the ball out of the air. Under a minute remaining in the third quarter. The Arrows, 2 power play goals this evening, are on top of their arch rivals, the Houston Summit Sockers. And Houston, they have the potential to come back, believe me. They were down 7-2, as I reiterated earlier. Milligan inside. This is Dale Russell. Look at Renato Chilla. I love Chilla, the way he plays defense, Kyle. And I had to imagine if that guy right there, number 4, was marking you man-to-man, you can't breathe. This guy's all over him. If you beat him, he's going to take you down.
No, that's right. Chilla, who is from Brazil, was 4th in the league last year in penalty minutes and only played about half the schedule.
Save again by Messing, and he just knocks. There's going to be a penalty assessed, 2 minutes for pushing to Shep Messing, as Messing took Kai Oskavy and just shoved him out of the way. And again, Kai Oskavy, Kyle, I have to say this, knows how to play the game, knows how to intimidate the opposing team, and this is what he did. Watch Messing when he comes out of goal, Kyle.
Well, there we see Messing on the ground, starting to get back up. Oskavy, having said something to him, walks in his path, really. And something that would do one of your daytime television actors very well. Takes the fall, and Ed Bellion turning around just at the opportune time, sees Oskavy falling to the floor, and assesses a 2-minute penalty to Messing. So in all fairness, we have to admit that Messing has led all goalkeepers ever since the start of the MISL in penalty minutes, and even this year has had a fight with at least one player that I know of. So the fiery, emotional leader of these New York Arrows doesn't mind mixing it up, and in this case gets assessed a 2-minute penalty, which is going to give the Houston Summit a man advantage as they try and narrow the margin from 6-2.
Messing gets a penalty. He doesn't leave the field. That is constant. It's not only going to be a penalty, it is going to be a penalty kick. Now, Jimmy McLaughlin, number 16 for New York, goes into the box. If Kai Oskavy scores on the penalty kick because it took place inside the penalty area, that's where the penalty was, then McLaughlin will come out and New York will be full strength. If Messing, which would be a miracle, makes a save, here's the shot. Messing, no way can the goaltender make a save. Kai Oskavy on a penalty kick brings the Houston Summit Sockers within 3 goals with only 31 seconds remaining in the third quarter. As you look at Oskavy, 35 goals. And we said at the beginning of the game that Oskavy, Segota, and Jungle all going after each other. Kyle, what can you do to defend against this?
You're having to guess. Messing moving well before the ball is struck, so he was being a little bit illegal, but you have to do that to have any chance at all. Guessing that Oskavy was going to kick the ball to the right side. That's Oskavy's 35th goal. That ties him with Segota with 35. Jungle just one behind with 34. We've seen the top 3 scores, and in the whole MISL, we're missing Fred Grigoriev, but 3 of the top 4 scorers in this game.
Kyle, when you take a penalty kick, the goaltender, do you have a book on a lot of the players, you know, knowing which foot is strong and which one isn't?
It's not so much the foot that you have a book on, but it's the part of the goal that you're going to shoot to. And a player like Oskavy, if he takes more than a few penalty kicks a year, will develop several favorite shots so that he doesn't get as predictable. But similar to answer your question, yes.
Time running down in this, the third quarter. You see the time elapse. The horn goes off in the Summit in Houston, Texas. The New York Arrows are on top of the Houston Summit Sockers here in Houston, Texas, 6-3. We'll be back right after this.
Greenwich Village. It has a chemistry all its own, just like every other New York village. And town. And neighborhood. From the Long Island Expressway to the Coney Island Expressway. From East Chester to East 14th Street in Brooklyn. And the Chemical Bank branches there are part of that chemistry. Chemical branch managers make sure of that. In Grand Central Station, that means creating a chemical branch a commuter can relate to, with hours that are right on track. Well, in our Huntington branch, it means giving a commuter's family something that they can relate to, a ballet. It means that every year in Harlem, one of our customers makes a deposit that gets a lot of interest. He cooks lunch for the entire staff. So the chemistry's so right, you can almost taste it.
There's a notion afoot that the boxier a car is, the more sense it makes.
Now, it seems like Buick and a whole lot of Regal owners disagree.
Instead of making the Regal look like a European jogging shoe, they made it crisp and clean.
Instead of making it austere, they made it luxurious.
And instead of underpowering it, they gave it an efficient V6 engine.
Buick Regal. Proof that intelligence doesn't always come in a box.
Regal. Buy or lease one at your Buick dealer now.
I'd like to talk to you about the Sony Betamax and an incredible feature called Betascan. I'm Tom Williams Sr., and if you know tennis, you know my son. Here's a cassette of his last championship match. Betascan lets me go fast forward and reverse, so I can skip the boring stuff like this long rally and stop when I come to the real exciting parts, like Tom Jr. here dashing onto the court to pick up the ball. Isn't Betamax terrific? It lets you see what you've been missing and miss what you don't want to see. It's from Sony, the one and only.
Back at the Summit in Houston, Texas, Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. Kyle, we'll look at Kenny Cooper. And the penalty kick, Kyle, is such a difficult kick. And as you mentioned, if a guy takes a number of them, they might get a book on the guy. At least to what aspect or area of the goal that he wants to shoot, you might describe it as we watch it again.
Right, here's Oskavy, a great angle. As you see Messing beginning to move before the ball is kicked. He's supposed to keep his line, keep his feet from moving. There you see his left leg has already moved. Oskavy faking to Messing's left, putting it to our camera left in the upper corner. And it's similar to a book that a baseball pitcher and catcher would have on hitters, what their tendencies are. And I'm sure Shep has seen Kai enough times to feel that he confident enough that he should have dived to the left, which is the way he dived. But Oskavy, it's a guessing game, to answer your question. And this time, in the guessing game, Kai Oskavy came out ahead.
You saw a shot of the bench where David DeRico was talking to Shep Messing, the man in the middle. That's Enzo DePede, the backup goalkeeper for the New York Arrows, and a fine goalkeeper. You look at Mickey Poole. Poole has been a great addition, as Paul Hammond was the leading goalkeeper in the MISL last year. And he is now playing in Hartford with the Hartford Hellions. And this gentleman had to step in and take the role of Paul Hammond. And Hammond kept this Houston team in a lot of games last year. Poole has done the same thing for him.
Yes, he has. Hammond led the league last year in goals against average and really anchored a defense that was the best in the league last year. Poole having to come in after the start of the season, and so he really didn't have the advantage of preseason training, and they've been very pleased with his play.
All right, here we go, fans. It's the fourth quarter. New York is moving left to right. Now this is Houston moving in on offense. Houston shot. There's Messing, goes to the ground, gets a hand on it. Houston trailing 6-3. We're in the fourth and final regular quarter. 4 15-minute quarters, 2 30-minute halves. Look at Jungle put a move on Neil Cohen. This is Jungle. Jungle leaves the ball. New York now falling back. They are playing more in the midfield area, Kyle, and you think they're going to sit on the 6-3 lead?
I don't think they can afford to, but we should point out that Jungle's ability to hold balls in tight situations I think, is his best skill. It allows then your teammates to come up in supporting positions, and you know when you give Stevie Jungle the ball, he's not going to foolishly lose it for you and cause a fast break to be caused against your team.
There's Tuccia right outside to Julie V, and the Arrows put their 7th goal on the board. What a play as they almost lulled Houston into sleep. And Julie V silences this crowd, nice crowd in Houston, as he stands right out front. And Kyle, we said it at the beginning, Julie V really has put this team. He's come along and really added depth to him.
Yes, he has. That's his 18th goal. As you mentioned, Julie was not here last year. There's Tuccia in the corner. Holohan chasing him down, makes a pass. That's an unusual pass from that position because normally players would play it off the boards. And apparently all the defenders were expecting that too, but Julie V may have said something to Tuccia as he went down in the corner about pulling it straight back, and he had the angle and put it away very cleanly.
Here's a break for New York. Out on right, there's Luis Alberto puts it in on a great pass from Jungle. And again, New York showing total dominance here tonight, scores their 8th goal.
You know, there's a commercial saying that when it rains, it pours, and there's not a team in this league that can score goals time after time after time when they get it going better than the New York Arrows. And here's an example within the space of a few seconds. Alberto getting the pass into the middle from Jungle.
On the near post,
on the near post, which is difficult. But I think it forced Jungle, with having the ball at his feet, forced Poole to come out and cut off Jungle's angle because he's such a difficult player to try and keep from scoring, and gave Alberto the opening.
One of the best crowds of the season on hand in Houston are watching the New York Arrows take apart this Houston Summit soccer team, which, let me tell you how good the Arrows have to be able to do this. Houston did not lose a regular season game all last year in this building, and they've only lost one this year. They trail 8-3, but folks, you hear it from sportscasters all the time, or announcers, don't go away. Well, let me tell you something, don't go away here. As any number of goals can be scored in this game at any given time.
That was a dangerous play. Dale Russell, who was a 4-time All-American at Philadelphia Textile, was left alone in the defensive area. Had the pass been a little bit lower, he wouldn't have had to head it. He could have chested the ball down and then hit the volley the way we've seen a player like Segota hit it tonight. And Dale Russell has one of the hardest shots in the league, so it would have been a difficult situation for the New York Arrows. That was a bad defensive lapse on their part.
It'll be a free kick on a high kick. High kicking violation. There's a shot in misdirection as David Rico gave it back to Messing. He nearly faked his own goalkeeper out. And the play moves into the midfield area. Neil Cohen for Houston. Houston trailing 8-3. The Arrows on top, looking very good tonight. It's a tough road trip for New York.
That last shot, Terry, that we saw taken, where the ball was deflected in front of the goal, is one of the concepts that makes indoor soccer so exciting. You don't see it very much in the outdoor game. The ball's being deflected as you would in ice hockey, where you put a man there in the slot and hope that if nothing else, he'll at least block the vision of the goalkeeper. We've seen many goals scored this year with the vision being blocked.
You know, Kyle, I'm surprised because when they made the announcement here in the arena tonight that we were televising back to New York on WPIX 11 Alive, we had a number of people, as you see Poole come way out of goal and clear it, a number of people come up and say to us, hey, we've seen the game, our family's seen the game on WPIX. They really like it, they enjoy it. We have a couple of get-wells and hellos to Fanny Grobman and Melissa Grobman, who recovering. That's passed along from their son, Dave Broman, who works for this Houston Summit soccer team. We have a hello to Jason and Drew Whitesold in Springfield, New Jersey. It's from their dad, and they're the little kids. Now, they got to be jumping up and down. Your dad's fine, kids. He's doing all right. Of course, Mike Minchell, a former New York, not only Arrows man, but was with the Rochester Lancers, general manager, is down here in Houston now. He passes his greetings. As you see Mickey Poole passing along. A lot of New York people in Houston, Kyle.
Well, if you're going to do that, I might as well say hello to my office staff up in Toronto, Jan and Peter, all the people that watch PIX up there in Toronto as we get great coverage up there.
You know,
I should say hello to my father as well.
Is your father in New York, Kyle? Is your father in New York?
Lives over on York Avenue, and he's more of a New Yorker than a lot of people that were born in the Bronx.
How is your dad, Kyle?
He's doing fine.
That's good. One of the fine broadcasters ever to do sports announcing, and Kyle Rote Jr. following in his trails. And look at Steve Jungle. Jungle battles Poole. Jungle, that's got to be. Nope, doesn't call a penalty. Goes out over the plexiglass. If you ever saw a delay of game, there it was, right there.
I would say so, but and Popovich is going crazy.
There's Treninger. Great save. There's Jungle on a rebound, and Mickey Poole can't believe it. Strenitzer takes the shot, rebound, Poole couldn't control, and it comes loose, and Steve Jungle just scored his 35th goal.
And Jungle also happens to lead the league in hat tricks. That's his 8th of the year. Here we see Strenitzer taking the initial shot, keeps it pretty low, good save by Poole. But Stevie Jungle, the ever-present goal scorer, right there, puts the ball between Neil Cohen's legs, adding insult to injury as the New York Arrows go up 9-3.
And again, I talk about just how amazing that really is, Kyle, because this Houston Summit soccer team in Houston is unbelievable. And tonight, the Arrows have had total dominance. They've won all the loose balls. They pass the ball, and everybody who has said anything that we use the inserts. Dorico says you got to pressure them, you got to be intense. They're very serious about this game. Popovich says, hey, you got to press them, you can't get rid of the loose balls. Jungle says, hey, we're serious about this game tonight. It all proves out, and they're doing just that.
It does, and pretty much the silence here is deafening, Terry, as all these Houston fans, this is the first time they've ever seen the Houston indoor team get totally blown out at home.
Dorico, this is an offside pass. It'll revert back to the red line. We remind all of our fans on WPIX 11 Live, next game on next Friday night. The Detroit Lightning, owned by one of the Hollywood mavens, Jerry Parencio, but even more important than that, they're coached by Terry Fisher. And Terry Fisher has put a fine team together in Detroit. Former New York Arrows player playing up there, Pat Ercole, who we've seen probably in every opening and every film clip everywhere with that amazing bicycle kick that he hit last year for New York when they won the championship game in Philadelphia. There's a shot by Stuart Jump, and showing total frustration, Kyle. These guys, you see Jump right there for Houston. The Detroit Lightning coming your way, 8 o'clock live on 11 Live next Friday night. Next Arrows home game, February 3rd, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Against the Cleveland Force, and the much improved Cleveland Force. That's one of the teams starting to learn how to play the indoor game.
Well, they've had some great victories as of late. Their addition, Cleveland, of Mike Berry from Pittsburgh has been really a tremendous thing for this team, and they're totally different than what we saw earlier in the year.
Look at Dorico. Great footwork by David Dorico. Finally, Oskavy gives it back to Mickey Poole, and Doug Pollard was in on the run for New York. Finally, Poole for Houston, left wing, Stuart Jump. 10 minutes, 40 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Arrows on top of Houston, 9-3. Houston totally frustrated tonight. New York has played a brilliant game in the midfield area. This is Oskavy, return pass. Dorico right there, picks up the loose ball. This is Molnar, right wing pass, just shy. And you know, Kyle, you pointed something out that's very important. Houston has played a lot of games at home. You know, and they've been very successful at home. They've only lost one game in a regular season so far. And they're going to hit the road and play a long, tough schedule.
Well, people have wondered why, even though up until this week Houston had the best record in the league, why we felt that New York was still the class of the league, and that was because of the early season scheduling. Houston having played 10 of its first 14 games here at home. Tonight being the 11th or 12th that they've played.
And you know, Kyle, the road records, I think, will determine the winners of the league. Eventually, at least the division winners. There's 2 divisions, the Atlantic and the Central, 2 5-team divisions. It's a 10-team league this year, up from 6 teams last year. This is Oskabee. Oskabee, great play by Kai Oskabee. Oskabee settled the ball off his chest, gave himself the rebound, and stuck it past goaltender Shep Messing for his second goal of the evening.
Well, Oskabee, who just saw Stevie Jungle tie him for the league lead in goal scoring with 35 goals, now puts himself back up totally alone in the first place position, plays a wall pass to himself, and hits the bouncing ball, keeping it low past Messing. A very difficult angle, and once again on bouncing balls, young goal scorers, if you can keep the ball low, that's a great skill.
That's Messing. He's given up his 4th goal. Arrows on top, 9-4. We told you, stick around. This game isn't over with.
No, we've had 3 hat tricks tonight. Jungle having one, Segota having one, and now Hoskabee.
This is Pollard, takes a pass, nice pass, way deep. Finally up over the top of the plexiglass. We've not seen Bronco Segota too much in the second half. He had the flu the other night in Hartford, sat out the entire game. And Coach Popovich very wisely saying, hey, Bronco, you played a good game that first half. Take a rest. If I need you, I'll put you back in. Jumped Ian Anderson. Houston on a goal by Kai Oskabee. Hat trick for Oskabee tonight. Has pulled within 5 goals. It's 9-4.
New York also without Damir Shuteski tonight, who's been a leading goal scorer for them, has a bruised ankle that I believe he got in the Hartford game earlier this week.
Pollard, pass inside. Stewart jump intercepts. Larry Milligan for Houston. Houston trailing 9-4. 8:35 remaining, 4th quarter. This is the Magnificent Summit in Houston, Texas. Pollard goes to the ground, pushing. It'll be a free kick for New York. The Arrows have played very well against their arch rivals, the teams that you would expect them to play well against, Kyle. You know, they've done well against Houston. They've done well against Philadelphia. They've had great games with Buffalo. Probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time. The game we did 2 weeks ago from Buffalo. What a game that was.
Well, it's the best indoor game that I've ever seen.
I have to concur with that.
Even though New York lost, the crowd got into the game. The players responded to it. And at the end of the game, players couldn't walk anymore because they were trying to entertain the fans so much.
I mean, they were so tired after that game. So they started out running full speed. There's a break, Ian Anderson, but Messing clears way downfield. Larry Milligan for Houston. Time running down, 7 minutes, 55 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
Great defensive play by Gene Strenicher there as he allowed the initial pass to be made by Stewart Jump, but then followed his defender and followed the ball and followed his defender so he could steal it. Didn't just stand there and watch. Off the post.
Holy mackerel.
And the ball comes out to Jim Callahan.
It's going to be a free kick. Stewart Jump. How do you describe this play?
I think he was trying to stretch his leg out for him. There's the initial shot. We'll see Jump grabbing the leg and just holding it right there.
Now there's your wrestling.
That could be a dangerous play. Very dangerous. You could lose a knee very easily there as Jump felt, though, that he could have lost his nose, which has been broken several times. So I guess it was a trade-off.
Scoring the MISL, Philadelphia leading Cleveland 4-5-2.
Philadelphia on top of Cleveland 5-2. Another MISL games going on in the league tonight.
5-1 Buffalo. Nick Poole to Cohen.
Houston trailing with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. Arrows on top, 9-4. Kai Oskabee, Dale Russell return pass. Strenitzer playing a good game tonight. Strenitzer inside. Look at Messing. Take the ball off the boards. Never even turned and looked at the ball. Look for the rebound.
No, it's a difficult skill. What a good pass.
Jungle, what a shot by Steve Jungle. He had Poole all the way, leaning right. And Jungle hit the left-hand corner on the near post.
It was a great shot by Jungle, who now is tied with Hoskevy for the league leading in scoring. But I think the essence of this was the pass by Strenitzer there with the outside of his leg. Perfect pass. It led him just like a quarterback would lead a receiver, Terry Bradshaw, to Lynn Swan or Stallworth. Puts it right on Jungle's right foot. All Jungle has to do is cock it and hit it, and it goes in the upper net. You got to give a lot of credit to Gino Strenitzer.
And again, Kyle, I marvel at one thing about Segota and Jungle, and that is when they take or receive a pass, especially when they score, they never settle the ball. They hit it on the pass, and that seems such a remarkable, equation of talent, hand and eye coordination.
Well, we call it hitting the ball first time, and it's like if you've ever tried to hit a billiard ball with your stick while the ball is still rolling. That's what it's like trying to do, and it's a very difficult skill. People you don't do that as a starting soccer player. It takes years and years of practice, which obviously Jungle and Segota have given to the game to where they have skills like that.
So the first tendency is settle the ball, then hit striker with force. What makes these guys brilliant players is the fact that they don't have to settle the ball. They can anticipate where it's going to be.
Right, and then a defender has no chance to recover and get himself set because he doesn't know when the ball is going to be shot. He can't time his tackle.
And then that accounts for a couple of plays that I've seen these guys make where they will fake hitting the shot in full stride, then pull the ball back, and then the defenseman is totally committed. Dale Russell takes a right-footed shot. Again, a big save by Messing. Messing coming up big for the Arrows all night tonight.
Messing's still down on the ground. It looks like he's hurt an ankle.
Goaltenders, as we alluded to at halftime, really, really take a beating in this game.
Messing's still down.
It's a left ankle, Kyle. You don't have time to think about it, though. Play on. Hoskevy, pass inside. You see Messing, he's favoring that left ankle.
He's going to call timeout. He does, for the Arrows. We'll see it again on replay where Messing got hurt in that series of shots there in front of the goal. I believe his defender was right in front of him. Well, Messing tried to call a timeout, wasn't able to get it called. He goes down. I don't think he was hurt right there as he goes back into the goal. May, just in going down, hurt the ankle. There it is. Now he's limping on it. Already he's hurt. He may have just twisted it from his own torque and own movement, trying to get himself back into position in front of the goal.
Nice camera work by the crew here in Houston, MCI Productions. It's a great building. Kyle, I worked in this building for about 3 years here. We put on a lot of events, and I tell you, it's a real pleasure to come back here and work with these people again. You see right out front, play going on into the midfield. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this, the fourth quarter. The Arrows playing a great game against their arch rival, Summit Soccer. They're on top 10-4. And Kyle, I think you could feel the intensity of the Arrows players at the beginning of this game when they talked about how serious they were about playing the game tonight.
Well, your timing on that comment was perfect as Milligan went in on a sliding tackle, which doesn't happen very often on artificial turf because you leave a patch of skin on the ground. This is the most goals, I think, that Houston has ever given up at home, as we appreciate that stat being given to us from the truck.
You saw Messing with a two-handed save. The goaltender in the indoor game not only has to have the ability to hold on to the ball, but he has to have the ability to misdirect the ball and send it out to different areas so the rebound shots aren't there. Houston desperately trying to get back into the game. They've given up more goals tonight, and Houston playing a reverse role at home. Usually they're the ones scoring 10 goals. They've only scored 4. Great credit to the Arrows defense. You can see this fine New York Arrows team at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum on February 3rd. You can also see the Arrows next Friday night live, 8 o'clock, right here on 11 Alive. Steve Jungle. Jungle back to Julie Veen. Right down is Dave DeRico. We'd like to remind all of our viewers, immediately following tonight's game, Action News here on 11 Alive. Stay tuned. DeRico, right wing, Val Tuccia. Tuccia moving into the middle. The New York Arrows playing great tonight. David DeRico sends it up over the top of the glass. 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining in this, the fourth quarter. Arrows totally dominant, showing why they are the defending champions of this, the Major Indoor Soccer League. And I tell you, when you're the defending champions, the Pittsburgh Steelers in football, Seattle in basketball, you take Montreal in hockey, you take any team that shows dominance, and you come into an arena, boy, and I tell you, the other team wants to take a shot at you. New York has played with that pressure all year long, and they played very well. It's a credit to the owner, John Luciani, the whole organization of the New York Arrows, and the Arrows coach, Don Popovich. They've responded very well this season. Go out and see these guys.
New York is the only team this year, Terry, as we see a 2-minute penalty being assessed, apparently against New York. As Ed Bellion moves over, probably against Dave DeRico, number 2. But this is the only team in the league, Terry, that's been able to get into double figures against Houston this year. They did it once in New York, and as we see here tonight, the score 10-4. Of all the games that Houston has played, or the 16 games, they've never given up double-figure goals, except against New York. So this is a potent attack that the Arrows have put together this year.
Kyle, where do you go from here? You got another game to do this weekend?
Go up to St. Louis.
Oh, that's great.
As the Houston team goes in there Sunday night.
That'll be a good game. So you're doing the cable game on Sunday night. A lot of the New York fans can see that on our national cable game of the week. I head up to the lovely city of Springfield, Massachusetts tomorrow for the Pittsburgh-Hartford game. You're looking at the New York Arrows, defending champions of the Major Indoor Soccer League. Terry Leiweke along with Kyle Rote Jr. We have 2 minutes remaining in this, the fourth quarter. Major Indoor Soccer League action coming your way on 11 Alive. Stay tuned. Action News following immediately. Arrows playing short-handed. The penalty to number 2, David DeRico, defenseman. Houston on the power play. For minute 31, there's a minute 35 remaining in the game. Shot, Jimmy Callahan, right at the top of the penalty arc. Jimmy Callahan, former New York Arrows player. St. Louis boy goes with the right foot high to the left-hand corner and closes the gap to 5.
Once again, we see how dangerous it is to give up a penalty with DeRico in the nets. Callahan from the top of the key puts it high as Messing dives down to his left. Callahan, normally a defender, has a powerful shot, puts it in the upper corner.
And Kyle, I alluded earlier to Callahan's left leg. That time he hit it with the right foot.
Well, even the great Pelé, you know, we say soccer players have to be able to kick with both feet, but even a player like Pelé, he had a favorite foot, which was his right leg. And it's rare that you would see, particularly in that situation, when he had time to move the ball to his left foot, go ahead and hit it with his right. So Callahan, a double leg player.
Minute 5 seconds remaining in this, the fourth quarter. The Arrows on top, 10-5. Looks like they're going to walk away with a victory. Long road trip for the Arrows. They go to Wichita tomorrow to play the Wichita Wings in Wichita. Wings defeated Houston in an overtime game. They're for real. You see, what a great play right out front. Mickey Poole, look at Poole on the ground. Molnar, loose ball. Finally, the referee blows the whistle. 45 seconds remaining. Arrows on top, 10-5. Kyle, they played very, very well tonight.
Well, they have. They've done just what Don Popovich wanted them to do. Keep Hoskevy in check pretty much, but more than Hoskevy, they kept Hoskevy's line in check.
And Messing, a big key to tonight's victory, playing with a couple of stitches over that eye. he received in the game the other night playing against his brother, Roy, who's a keeper for the Hartford Hellions. Time running down. Good victory for the Arrows. Good way to start off a road trip.
It is, and it's difficult to get your players to play defense because there's no glory in defense. But if Don Popovich can get his Arrows to combine the great creative skill of a Jungle and Segota with good, tight defensive work, there's no question that they have to be favored to repeat as MISL champions again this year.
Good point, Kyle. They say you play offense for the fans and defense for the coaches, and the Arrows played for the coaches tonight. Horn goes off, end of regulation time play. The New York Arrows have defeated the Houston Summit Sockers, handing them only their...
Get involved too heavily in the physical aspect of this game, but there he is.
But he is the part owner of a construction company.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
He can build himself a stadium.
That's right. Build a Coliseum. 42 seconds remaining. Beaver leading 6-3. 3 goals, Dave McWilliams, 2 by Fred Grigorev, 1 by Ivan Levnak. Levnak was injured here in the 4th period.
So the 2 boys from Philadelphia, Pat Fidelia and Brooks Kreider, tried very hard, but to no avail. Smitty canceled Fidelia, and Brooks Kreider did a lot of checking on Freddie Grigorev, but Freddie still got 2 goals, and Fever is up 6-3 with seconds on the clock.
I've been very impressed, Walt, by the continued improvement of Dave McWilliams and Alan Kelly.
No question about it. The last 5-6 games, these 2 players have stood out for Georgie O'Neill, and I think it was just a question of getting their confidence back, particularly Davey McWilliams, who didn't see much action for the Tampa Bay Rowdies this summer. So now he's back into his game, and he's a prolific goal getter, and as he's demonstrated that in the last 5-6 games.
Astigarraga. Garcia's shot is wide. Rigby tries to head it out. And that's the end of the game. The Philadelphia Fever win it over the Cleveland Force by a score of 6-3. 6-3. A good job by the Fever as we look at Georgie O'Neill getting around with Clyde Watson. And big win for George on the road. And the Fever now will remain no more than a game and a half behind the Arrows in the Atlantic Division, pending the outcome of the Arrows game. And we'll be right back with a wrap right after these words.
Now, from the ancient Orient, direct to your modern kitchen, General Mail presents a cooking revolution.
Do it to yourself. Tegrin works.
Dan Kelly, Scott Wally, and Minnesota North Star General Manager Lou Nanne at the Omni in Atlanta. Only goal to the second.
Well, Terry, with tonight's victory, New York Arrows beating the Houston Summit 10-5. That's going to throw the Houston record to 12-5, which still will lead them atop the Central Division. It means New York is now 12-3. What do you think of the game?
Well, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy for the New York owners. I'm happy for the coach. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the fans in New York because the Arrows are really showing they worked all season long in their indoor facility. They worked out very hard. And tonight, they really proved something, coming to Houston and defeating the best team in their home arena, undefeated here all of last season. This is only their second loss. So, you know, I think the fans in New York should be proud of what the Arrows have done so far. You have a chance to go see them on February 3rd, Sunday afternoon, 2 o'clock against the Cleveland Force. Nice working with you again.
Well, this is the kind of game that we have seen New York play at home there at Nassau Coliseum. And it's the first time that I've seen them play on the road with this same type of intensity, with the exception, I guess, of Buffalo.
Right.
And so we're just excited that so many of you tuned in for this game. We hope to bring you another one next Friday night. And we'll go off to Action News for Channel 11 WPIX in New York right after this as we see the credits roll. And Terry, thanks again.
Kyle,
enjoyed it?
Always a pleasure.
Okay.